I hope I can be of help to you, Knight.
What's the matter?
It's the tourney. It always upsets me.
Why would the tourney upset you?
It brings back sad memories about my son Svartalfluk. God rest him. He always loved sword fighting. Even when he was just a lad, he used to duel with his mates with sticks. And for years he saved every groschen he got so he could buy a real weapon. Wasn't long before he had the hang of all sorts of fancy strikes and feints. So when he heard Sir Hanush was holding tourneys for common folk, he was first in line to enroll.
I see. And he got hurt in the arena?
Oh, heavens no. Sir Hanush set the rules in such a way that nobody would suffer more than a bruise or two. And he makes damn sure the rules are obeyed.
Did your son ever win the tourney?
Oh, aye, more than once. Svartalfluk wasn't the strongest, but he was agile as a weasel. And he put his heart and soul into it.
So what happened to him then?
Well, this fella by the name of Peter enrolled. They called him Black Peter on account of the colour he wore. He beat all comers. No man could match him. Only Svartalfluk was determined to take him, so he started training all the hours God gave. He even started going to Captain Bernard for lessons. And in the last tourney, he got the better of Black Peter in the end and won the prize. Only he never came home that day. I figured he was having a drink in Rattay to celebrate his victory. But he didn't even turn up in the morning, and I started getting worried. I was just on my way to look for him when some merchants came by. They found my boy by the road just past Rattay. He was still alive, but he was burning up and shaking like a leaf. I sent for the sawbones right away. But before the day was out, I had to send for the priest.
Do you think it was this Black Peter who killed him?
It was the first thing crossed my mind. Aye. But there's no proof. It could have been anyone, I suppose.
Do you know anything about this Black Peter?
No, not much. I asked around, but nobody knew nothing much about him. Except he was a stuck-up bastard. He always just turned up for the tourney, took his prize and vanished.
Did Svartalfluk have any wounds?
Only a couple of scratches and bruises from the tourney. Nothing that would kill a man. Not even the sawbones could figure out what done him in.
I think I can tell you what happened to Svatopluk.
Really?
The fact that he died just after beating Black Peter and winning the tourney was no coincidence.
So it was that bastard.
Yes. Black Peter lay in wait and ambushed me. He's a nasty piece of work. The thing is, he had some kind of poison on his weapon, so I reckon he might have poisoned your son. The signs you spoke of point to it.
Merciful God, I knew it! But how did you get away from the fucker? Did you kill him?
He was no match for me. I sent him straight to hell where he belongs.
Thank you. It won't bring my boy back, but it gives me some peace to know you avenged his death. Here, take this. It's not much, but it's all I have. Take care.
You're in the wrong...
Shit!
To heal, mutt. It's here. That Kunesh wasn't lying. But I know this goblet. It belongs to Baron. And he's still alive. I saw him in Ratai among the refugees, wearing red as always. Now what? I feel quite hungry.
I hope I can be of some humble service to you.
I see there's not much going on around here. So you've stayed here on your own?
Quite so, all by myself. All the others were either killed by the humans or fled to Rattay.
I'm sorry to hear that. And what's keeping you here, alone?
My older brother ran away with the wandering players, so when our father was on his deathbed, he made me swear I'd never leave our home.
I can see you took your vow seriously.
I did. And it's starting to get dangerous around here. Again.
The humans.
If it were humans, I'd grab an axe and that would be that. But a week back, some rabble made their way through here. They begged me for food, and mark my words, they weren't taking no for an answer. If they'd been just a tad hungrier, I swear they would have stormed the cottage.
There are gangs like that around, true enough. I saw the mess they left behind. Savages.
It was horrible. People tried to find shelter in the church, but them dogs was waiting. They knew too well that's where folk would try to hide.
Where did you hide?
By the grace of God, I got my family away into the woods.
And I don't see your family with you. I hope those bastards didn't sniff them out.
No, it takes better man than them to track me down. I sent my wife to Rattay with some others.
Do you think folk will ever go back to their homes?
Oh, I don't know about Skallets, but the folk here are sure to want to come back. The only thing they're missing is spiritual support.
Do you mean the priest?
Indeed. When the land's at war, noblemen fight to protect their property. But simple folk want someone to tend their souls.
Of course. But it was the Skallets parish priest who ministered here, wasn't it?
He did. But there's been no sign of him since the attack. Or at least he's definitely not in Rattay among the refugees.
That's true enough. I didn't see him there.
But if you're interested, young fella, maybe you could help us find the priest we need here.
I can always ask. But I've really got no idea where to start.
I can help with that. A few years ago, there used to be another priest in Skallets. Simon, I think his name was.
Simon. Father Simon. I remember him. That's the one who went missing, right?
Aye. I don't want to spread rumours, but they say he was in love with his housekeeper. And then she died somehow, poor thing.
Sodom and Gomorrah. Clerics today.
They're men, just like the rest of us, with man's passions. Well, to finish the story, Simon left the parish and ran away. You know that already. There was neither sight nor sound of him for a long time, until this spring he showed up here.
And what's he doing here?
That's just it. People say he's become a hermit.
All right. And where can I find him?
I couldn't tell you exactly, but you could start by talking to that girl's parents. Well, they live on a farm nearby, and it's likely they know more. They may even have had words with him.
I'll go and see what they have to say for themselves.
God go with you, lad, and I pray you find him. If some heathen stabs me in my sleep, I'd rather have a decent burial.
Don't worry. I'll bring someone.
Goodbye.
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
Jesus Christ. Your clothes. Were you assaulted? Damn bandits, may they burn in hell.
I'm looking for the priest, Father Simon, and I heard you might know of him.
Simon? What do you want him for?
I'm looking for the priest who used to take care of St. James, and the locals tell me they saw him around here.
I don't know if I can help you there. He'll never go back to his parish, if you ask me. Very well. What is it you want to know?
What went on between Simon and your daughter?
Nothing that hasn't happened before. Our Mary was his housemaid in Skalitz. She was pretty, very pretty. And he was young, and so things went the way they do between comely young folk. She came back home one day, heavy with child.
Yes, these things happen. What can you do?
I said as much. I was just glad our girl was provided for. Only she never had the chance to hold that babe in her arms. She didn't live through the birth.
I'm very sorry.
Such is a woman's lot in life. Men die in battle, and women in the arms of the midwife.
And what happened to Simon?
The poor man. He took it the worst. He was sure God's wrath smote Mary for her fornication.
That's rubbish. People lie together out of wedlock all the time, and God never smites them down.
That's just what I told him. But it's hardly my place to lecture a priest. And who knows? Maybe he was right. The Lord moves in mysterious ways. He was overflowing with grief. He barely spoke, didn't eat, refused to take a new housemaid. And then, one fine day, the presbytery was deserted. It took a good season before another priest came along.
Where can I find him? He's said to be wandering around here somewhere.
I heard that too, and I'm inclined to believe it, even though I haven't seen him myself.
How come?
After our poor Mary went to her rest, we used some of the money he'd paid us to put a cross up by the roadside. And lately, there's been wreaths of comfrey turning up next to it. I don't take them there, nor my husband neither.
You think Simon does?
Who knows? Maybe it's a miracle. I could believe anything. But there's not been fresh ones for a while, so perhaps he's moved on elsewhere again.
I see. Can you tell me where that cross is?
Certainly. There are settling tanks for the mines to the west of Skalitz. On the hill above them in the woods, there are several paths. Mary's cross is by one of them, close to the brook.
All right, thanks. I'll be going.
Very good, then. And if you do find him, let him know that we have no hard feelings.
I'll tell him.
God be with you.
to me. Yeah. 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 Ah! Yeah. Yeah. This must be that cross. Mary's mother was right. Someone did lay flowers here recently. I should have a look around and see if there's comfrey growing anywhere nearby.
Hey, you! What are you doing here?
I've come for the priest. Simon.
There's no one here called that.
There is. Do you take me for a fool?
All right. Maybe there is someone here. What of it? We're not going anywhere.
I think you should talk less and move your legs more.
And why is that? You think you've got what it takes to beat us?
I might. But it doesn't matter, because I saw you yesterday and then stopped by Talmberg to report. So, unless you'd rather wait for Sir Divish's Captain Robard, you should go now.
Shit! All right, we'll go. How far are they?
Far enough still. If you run, I'm sure you'll get away.
Right. Thanks for the warning.
Are you all right?
Yes, I think so. Oh, what happened to those wretches?
They're skulking around here somewhere.
Good God! Couldn't you scare them off somehow? I'm afraid they'll be back.
I'll see what I can do.
Just don't hurt anyone. Oh, thank you, my son. I was beginning to fear I'd never get out of here alive.
They didn't look dangerous. The only thing at risk was your possessions.
I know, poor fools. But I was afraid they'd leave me here. What would I have done then? And to whom do I owe my salvation?
My name's Henry. You may remember me. I'm the son of the Scalit's blacksmith.
Your face does seem familiar. But listen, Henry, I can't help feeling you didn't stumble across me by accident.
It's true. I've come to ask a favor of you.
Me? What on earth could I do for you?
I need you to go back to St. James. The folk there need spiritual guidance. Scalit's is a burned-out shell, and many have died in St. James. They need a priest. Any priest.
I understand, but I have to disappoint you. I gave up my calling. Instead, I've given myself over to repentance.
I know your story, Father.
Then you know what I'm guilty of.
Yes, and I don't want to try to make light of it. Your conscience is your own affair, but I know that deep down you're a good man.
You don't know what you're saying. You don't know me.
But I know what you did. Many priests break God's commandments willy-nilly and aren't the least ashamed.
That doesn't absolve me of my sins. God's law is set, no matter how often it's violated.
You're certainly right, but the people need you. And forgive me for being blunt, but while you can leave the presbytery if you choose, it doesn't absolve you of your duty to Christian folk.
But I'm a sinner. I'm not fit to guide anyone. I'm unworthy to do so.
Priests, bishops, monks, abbots, they're all sinners. Even the Holy Father himself is a sinner. You've done your penance, and now your people need you.
You're probably right. It is my duty. At least for a time, until they find someone better.
I don't think they'll find anyone better in a hurry.
All right. I'll take what I can carry and go back to St. James.
Thank you. Your parishioners will be very grateful.
I remember that ugly mug. What a piece of luck. Now I can knock your teeth in. Dobre cię. Dear God!
I hope I can be of some humble service to you.
I found you a priest.
Really? That's wonderful news. Who is it?
The former parish priest of St. James. I persuaded him to return to live among you, at least for a while.
So you found him?
Yes, he was roaming the woods around here.
Thank God. You'll see. Once there's a priest, people will soon be back.
I hope so.
I've put together a small sum for a new piece, so I thought a portion should definitely go to you, as a reward.
I couldn't possibly take it. You'll need the money to rebuild the village.
As you wish, then. I shan't weigh you down with it.
So, farewell to you. And I hope he gets here soon. Just don't you let him run off again.
I'll keep an eye on him myself. Godspeed to you, Henry, and thank you for your help. See you later.
Johanka?
Henry?
I'm glad to see you.
Me too. I heard that you're doing well.
Well, that depends.
You're alive. So you're doing well.
I can't
What's happening here? Oh my God. Philip and... they're all...
Yes. Where do you think the wounded ended up?
Actually, I had no idea.
Well, now you know. Me and Nicodemus have been trying to keep things under control since Skalitz was raised. Just the two of us.
So can I help at all?
Certainly. We can always use an extra pair of hands here. And it's been like that since the beginning.
I was in a bad way myself back then. They took me to Rattay unconscious and I needed a healer. How is everyone holding up? What can I do?
Holding up? People here are dying, usually needlessly, and I can't do anything about it. We don't have enough food or space or anyone who's willing to help us.
Doesn't anyone help you with nursing these people? You've got scholars all around you.
Scholars, maybe, but they leave the healing up to God. Nicodemus is trying, but everything he knows is from his books.
Can I have a look at them myself? I know a little about healing.
Do you now? And what would you do if you burnt yourself at the forge?
First, you have to cool it down with water. Marigold ointment helps, and it's better if you don't bind it and let it breathe.
You do know what you're talking about. Looks like blacksmiths know about more than just pulling teeth.
Pulling teeth? Nothing to it. As long as you don't squeeze the pincers too hard and crush them.
Well, go and see if anyone needs anything. Just don't go pulling anyone's teeth.
Doesn't the monastery care for them?
They give us some food for them and a place to sleep, but I wouldn't say they help exactly. More like they just tolerate us.
Do you have enough food?
Enough to survive, maybe, but convalescents need feeding up.
Maybe if I brought some meat, some game, that would strengthen them up.
That would be a great help.
Anything else you need?
Look around.
Well, it is a little crowded.
Crowded. I've had to leave some of the sick lying in the open air, even at night. And have you seen what they're lying on?
I'll try to negotiate better conditions with the monastery.
I tried that, out loud. They just nod their heads, but don't move a muscle.
Very well. And how are you doing? You're the only woman here, alone in the monastery.
Some of the monks speak to me, but other people act like I don't exist. Too bad the custodian isn't one of those.
Is the custodian causing you problems?
All the time. Apparently he has a wife somewhere, but that doesn't stop him. He's constantly strutting around in front of me.
And, what else?
What do you mean, what else? He's invited me to his home.
I could do something about it, if you liked.
No, I can deal with him. The last thing I need is you going around threatening people. It won't help me, and it definitely won't help the refugees.
Why is there a guard outside?
He's here because of me.
Because of you?
Yes. There was one time I just had enough of it all, of the way they treat us, and I almost slapped one of... But that doesn't matter.
What can you tell me about the custodian?
He's supposed to be in charge of all the guards and the security of the monastery. But really, he has a say in pretty much everything, including supplies. And that's why he probably thinks he can do whatever he wants.
All right, that's all I need to know.
Look, Henry, I know I can speak harshly, but I'm at the end of my tether. Last week Bohuslav died. Maybe you knew him. And nobody even blinked an eye. We desperately need help.
I'll do whatever's in my power. I brought some meat.
Thank you, Henry. Rich food will definitely help.
I won't get any sleep. I just won't get any sleep. Christ above! I can't get a wink of sleep.
What are you making such a fuss about?
A fuss? Because of my leg, I have to stay here for at least another week. Hurts like fuck. And with everyone else moaning and groaning all night, I can't get any sleep.
Why don't you go and lie somewhere else?
I can't. Not with this leg.
Maybe I can make you something to help you sleep.
Oh, then for God's sake, do it quickly.
May the Lord watch over you.
He'll be able to get out of this on his own. I'm not needed here.
Please, help me.
What do you want?
You're not from Skalitz?
No, but please help me. I can't stay here.
What happened to you?
I was working on the building when the scaffolding up by the roof collapsed underneath me.
Well, and you're very lucky you survived at all.
Yes, that's what everyone tells me. But it's no use being alive if all I can do is lie here like a wet sack of barley.
Well, you're pretty battered, but I don't see anything that a few weeks' rest can't fix.
Weeks? My God, I have to get back to work sooner than that.
What's the problem?
Sleep again.
Why can't you stay until you heal?
I have a family. I'm poor. It's only thanks to the building work that we can survive. And the master told me if I don't come back in a few days, then I shouldn't come back at all. And where can me and my wife go then? Who'll take us in? We'll end up living in the woods, where any bandit or ruffian could set on us.
Is there anything I can do to help? It looks like they took care of your wounds.
When I was little, my father got trampled on by a horse, and an old hag from the village gave him some kind of purple herbs for it. And he got better very quickly.
And do you remember what the herbs were?
I don't. But there's supposed to be the whole cursed knowledge of the world in this place. Something has to be written about it.
Just can't.
A herbarium. Anything.
I'll try to find something.
Thank you. Thank you.
Take care.
Yeah? Where? What's happening?
Hopefully I have what you need.
No. This doesn't look like what the hag gave us that time. See you later.
Hopefully I have what you need.
Quiet.
Thank you. With any luck, I'll soon be feeling better. If you find the time, stop by to see me in a few days. Good luck to you.
That's you.
You look all right.
Mostly, but my leg still hurts.
Did the humans wound you?
That's what I tell the ladies. Truth is, I did myself a mischief while I was running away.
And do they rebandage it for you?
Occasionally. They told me they don't have enough bandages.
Well, that's no use. Those bandages need changing. I've got bandages, so I can take care of it.
Wonderful. Could you tell Brother Nicodemus?
I can do it myself.
I thought you were a blacksmith.
A long time ago. But unfortunately, I've had to learn a thing or two about the art of medicine since then.
Well, fine then. Good luck then.
He just needs to sleep. He'll be able to get out of this on his own. He's not reacting. But all I can see that's wrong with him is his leg. I have to ask Johanka. These wounds have been well taken care of. Philip, from Skalitz. I don't see any wounds, but he's shaking terribly. You're the one who's in charge of the wounded?
Yes, I'm the infirmarius here. Time was I only had a few elderly monks who couldn't walk to take care of. Now I have this mess to deal with.
Monks so old they can't hold themselves up with their own legs.
Oh, if that were the only bodily function they could control. But I shouldn't talk like that. It's a blessing to live to such an age.
How are the wounded from Skalitz?
Some of them are well taken care of. But others are dying here needlessly. It's a good thing we have Johanka here. I'd never be able to manage on my own.
So you don't normally treat the wounded, then?
Well, there were accidents, of course. A broken leg, someone who'd been kicked by a cow or bitten by a goat. But this... I've never dealt with the carnage of battle before.
If only it had been a battle. This was cold-blooded slaughter.
You were there? God be merciful to you and the dead and the wounded.
How can I help you?
Have you talked to Johanka?
I did.
Well, if you know something about it, then go and take a look. However, you don't look like you've studied the Hippocratic arts.
That's true. I'm the son of a blacksmith, but I have been around the wounded before. What do I do if I'm not sure of the treatment?
Come and speak to me. We'll see what we can do.
What do you think about the custodian?
Baron von Berg? Well, he does his job well. He keeps us safe here. And the last time I saw him was when I was rubbing ointment on his rash.
I heard he's been here a lot lately.
That's true. He comes to visit Johanka, but he's never here long, and he always leaves unsatisfied.
Thank you. Why are they so badly provided for? People are crammed in next to each other, and some have to sleep outside. That can't be good for them. It gets freezing here at night.
I can't afford anything more for them.
How is that possible? You're the infirmarius. You decide how all the money gets spent.
But I have no say in how much money I'm given. And because the abbot's away, it's still the same amount I had when I was taking care of a few old men.
Can't you do anything? Won't the others help?
Unfortunately not. The brothers in the cloister aren't much interested in the external world. And the custodian has enough on his plate with the chaos in the region. Besides, his main concern is the smooth running of the monastery.
And the local custodian? His crew has enough provisions.
I tried him, but it seems he had some disagreement with Johanka, and now he won't give us anything.
I'll try to talk to him. I can't believe your conscience lets you leave the Skalitz locals in such a state.
I know. I'm shamed. But my brothers believe it's all in God's hands now.
Even so, conditions here seem to me quite unchristian.
You're not the only one.
What happened to Philip?
Philip?
He's unconscious. He's shivering and he has a fever.
Ah, I didn't know that. When he first came here, he was fine. No wounds on him. He was escorting the others. Then he got worse and worse until he lost consciousness entirely. Ask Johanka. Maybe she'll know more.
How about some potion to induce heavy sleep?
Certainly. The old reliable.
Reliable?
Some of the brothers like a good sleep. And sometimes that's the only way to get one. I'll show you how.
Thanks. I'd like to learn something from you.
And what can you do?
A bit of everything.
Can you now? But to be more precise, do you understand herbs and medicinal plants?
I do.
I won't get
In that
any
case,
sleep.
you've come to the right place.
I just won't get any
Someone who
sleep.
knows what they're doing will have it done in a jiffy. Go to the herb garden, take a good look at what's growing there, and then pull up the weeds in the herbaceous beds. Is that clear?
Clear. I can get cracking.
Not so fast. Have I even told you what I consider a weed? It's dandelions, stinging nettles, and thistles. Those plants have their use, but they've no business growing among the euphrasia and the mentha, or anywhere else in that garden for that matter.
Where is it they're not supposed to grow?
Between the mint and the eyebrights. Once you've cleared the garden of weeds, come back, and woe betide you if you pull up anything but weeds.
Don't worry, you've never had as good a gardener. Would you teach me more about alchemy?
Certainly.
I'd like to hone my skills.
First, you have to have some skills to hone.
Well,
I can't. I just can't. I can't sleep again. Quiet!
I've got something for you.
Really?
Drink this, and you'll fall straight to sleep.
Oh, thank you. Goodbye.
Dear Mistress Johanka, I come again in admiration of your selfless dedication. I would like to invite you to a fine banquet at my palace. You certainly have earned What business have you here, fellow? Who let you in?
I'm taking care of the wounded, as I'm sure you're aware.
Ah. Well then, run along and take care of them, and let me talk to Johanka. You're not needed here.
Wouldn't it be better to have the banquet here, custodian?
What?
You admire Johanka's self-sacrifice. I'm sure she appreciates the same quality in others.
Ah, yes. Quite. I was just thinking the same. I'll have some food brought here.
For the love of God! What have you been doing?
That custodian Sebastian is really obnoxious.
He can be unpleasant, but in his own way. I don't know.
You can't be serious.
What's that supposed to mean? At least he was here, unlike you, the whole time. And anyway, mind your own business. God be with you. God be with you, Henry.
What's wrong with that man by the altar? He doesn't look wounded, but he's really pale and doesn't react at all.
He had a broken leg. A bad one. The bone had come right through the skin. We tried to straighten it, but I don't know if we did it right. I'm not holding out much hope for him. I've seen folk in that state before, and it didn't end well.
My God, there has to be something we can do.
And what do you suggest? The monks won't help, and I don't know anyone else who can.
Well, I can try. I'll straighten his leg.
You?
Unfortunately, I've had occasion to try this sort of thing before. You have to place the bones as precisely as you can next to each other. It's hard, but you have to ignore any screams of pain. That's the only way to help him.
Well, fine. Try it then.
What happened to Philip?
Poor man. There was nothing wrong with him, and now he's getting worse every day.
But do you know why?
Maybe. He didn't run away from Skalitz, you see. He hid for days, among the corpses. If he got poisoned.
But what can we do?
Us? Nothing. Only Father Simon might have been able to save him. He knew a lot about poisons.
But I found him. He preaches in a church in Rovna.
He's alive. Then talk to him. God be with you.
Holding him firmly.
Aye.
Done.
Greetings, Henry.
Come along, free.
God save you. What can I do for you?
Whose house is this?
It's our local custodians. The most esteemed Sir Sebastian, Baron von Berg.
You don't seem to think very much of him.
Well, of course I do. A man with a nose so stuck up that it acts as a rain funnel can't be all bad.
What does the custodian do anyway?
Well, he's meant to look after the local community and keep the peace.
But
in fact, he seems more interested in robbing everyone blind.
I'm much obliged.
Don't mention it.
You look bored.
Beyond tears.
How can you be bored here in Sasau, in such a holy place, filled with knowledge?
Don't even talk to me about it. They won't let you touch the books, they don't want to talk to you, and when I wanted to look at the remains of St. Procopius, at least, they ran me off. Me! Like some kind of thief. What good is the whole blasted monastery if I can't even do that?
Well, they say there's not much left of poor Procopius.
What's that got to do with anything?
I'm not blaming you. It's just that only monks have access to the reliquary in the crypt. Folk were even taking relics away from St. Procopius' cave for protection before. Now no one's allowed in there.
I know, but I'd never dream of doing that. I just wanted to touch them for luck.
Maybe I could help you.
How? You're not planning some mischief, are you?
No, not at all. I was going to bring you something from the cave under the monastery where he spent his time. You can get in there. You could touch it for luck, and then I'd return it.
Oh, now. You'd do that for me?
Of course.
Then I'd be very grateful to you.
Good day to you.
I'm helping at the infirmary now, and I came to...
Ah, and how is Johanka? Do you know her well?
Yes, I do.
Good, good. Does she ever talk about me?
I'm mainly here for supplies and to talk about the state of the wounded from Skalitz. They need blankets, food...
Well, that's not my problem. Let the infirmarius take care of it.
His hands are tied. Until the abbot comes back, he can't get anything.
And why should that interest me?
Maybe because of Johanka.
What precisely are you getting at?
She has a kind heart. Everyone can see how deeply she cares about the wounded. If you help her selflessly, it'll win her over. She's bound to be impressed.
Maybe you're right. It will cost me something, but I'll discuss it with Nicodemus. I should be able to help in some way. Take care now.
I have some, trophies.
Let's have them. Very nice, very nice. Good luck to you.
Just as I thought. There aren't any remains here. Looks ordinary. A bit too ordinary.
Well?
I've got a bowl for you from the cave of St. Procopius.
A bowl? I was expecting something a little different.
Behold.
Ah! Is it really from St. Procopius?
Yes, from his cave. A truly astonishing place. This surely has miraculous powers.
You're right. My God, you're right. Such holiness. I'm in your debt, Henry. How can I repay you?
Groschen never hurt.
You've surely earned them. Here. And Henry,
Yes?
I just wanted to touch it for luck. If you took something you shouldn't have, I expect you'll put it back.
Who are you? Hey, what the hell do you think you're doing? If you don't clear off quick, it'll be the worse for you.
God be with you, Henry.
Tell me more about the situation here. All right, that's all.
Good luck, then.
How do I know which are the weeds?
You see, this is the part where you learn something.
I see.
May the Lord watch over you.
It's done.
Did you weed the beds and leave what should be growing there alone?
Not a leaf wasted.
I'm glad to hear it. I'm going to check with my own eyes.
God be with you.
Were you satisfied with my weeding?
You're a fine fellow. Truly, I couldn't have done a better job myself. You're a herbalist at heart. Here's the reward. You earned it.